Kendall Jenner tells her mom Kris to calm down after Kris pointed out that she is the last sibling to have a baby. Hi, before we continue, please subscribe to the channel for all Kardashians news and update. Kendall Jenner recently had something to say about a comment her mother Kris Jenner made that she felt was a bit too much. On the newest episode of the Kardashians, things got a little uncomfortable when Kris mentioned something personal about Kendall during a family dinner. The whole Kardashian-Jenner family had gathered at Kylie Jenner's home for a special meal catered by Nobu. As usual, Kris was overjoyed to have her children around her. She always lights up when she's surrounded by her kids and their growing families. But during this get-together, Kris couldn't help but bring up the topic of babies, something she's very passionate about. Kris shared her thoughts with the cameras, talking about how thankful she was for all the good things that had happened during the year. She mentioned how grateful she felt and even talked about some recent health scares that made things tough for a while. However, she was happy that those moments were now in the past. She also celebrated the fact that her daughter Kourtney Kardashian Barker had recently welcomed a baby boy named Rocky. She was clearly overjoyed that the newest member of their family had arrived safe and sound. But right after that, she made a comment that didn't sit well with Kendall. Kris said that one of her children, Kendall, still hadn't had a baby, leaving the idea open that maybe that could change soon. Even though Kendall wasn't at the family dinner, she still saw what her mom said. Later on, in her own confessional interview, Kendall responded to Kris's comment. The 28-year-old model seemed surprised and a little frustrated. She looked directly at the camera and said that her mom really made things awkward. In a very calm but clear voice, she said her mom needed to relax a little. This wasn't the first time Kris talked about pregnancy or shared her feelings about her own experiences as a mother. Earlier this season, she had a very heartfelt conversation with her oldest daughter, Kourtney. During their chat, Kourtney asked her mom if she ever felt sad knowing that she would never be pregnant again. It was an emotional moment, and Kris couldn't hold back her tears. She said that pregnancy had been one of the most beautiful experiences of her life. She especially remembered her first time being pregnant and how special it was. She called Kourtney her little pepper, and laughed as she described how spicy she turned out to be. Kourtney joked back, saying it made sense because she's an Aries and that Aries are naturally full of energy and spice. Kris Jenner is a proud mom to 6 children. She shares her life with her daughters Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie, as well as her only son, Rob. All of her children, except Kendall, have become parents themselves. Kris often expresses how happy she is to be a grandmother, and it's clear that she takes that role very seriously. Being around her grandchildren brings her a lot of joy, and she's always excited about new additions to the family. That might be why she sometimes brings up the idea of Kendall having kids. She just loves the idea of more babies in the family. But for Kendall, it's a different story. As the only one of Kris's children who hasn't had a baby yet, Kendall might feel a little pressure from her mom's constant reminders. Even though Kris probably means well and speaks out of love, Kendall clearly wishes she would ease up on the topic. She seems to want to live her life at her own pace, without feeling pushed into anything. It's important for her to feel respected in her choices, especially when it comes to something as personal as having children. This moment on the show is not just about one awkward comment. It also highlights the different perspectives between parents and their adult children. Kris, being the loving and sometimes overly excited mom, probably can't help herself when she talks about things that bring her joy. But Kendall, as an independent adult and successful model, wants space to make her own decisions without outside pressure. This kind of dynamic is common in many families, where parents and their grown-up kids have to learn how to respect each other's choices while still staying close. Kendall has always been a bit different from the rest of her family. While many of her sisters have embraced the spotlight and started their own families at younger ages, Kendall has focused more on her career in modeling and building a life that feels right for her. She's known for being more private and for taking things slow when it comes to major life decisions. Even though fans are curious about whether she'll have kids someday, Kendall seems to be taking her time and doing things when she feels ready. Moments like these on The Kardashians remind viewers that even famous families go through the same situations and emotions that many people face. Whether it's a mother hoping for more grandchildren or an adult child wanting to be understood, these are feelings that can happen in any home. That's part of what makes the show so relatable, even with all the fame and luxury that surrounds the family. People can see their own lives reflected in these conversations. Kris's emotional moment with Kourtney also shows just how deeply she feels about her role as a mother. Being pregnant and raising her kids was clearly a very meaningful part of her life, and the thought that those days are behind her brings up a lot of feelings. It's normal for parents to look back on those times and feel a mix of happiness and sadness. For Kris, each of her children holds a special place in her heart, and she wants to see them all experience the same joys that she did. However, just like with all things in life, timing is important. Kendall might not be ready for motherhood right now, and that's perfectly okay. Everyone moves at their own speed, and what feels right for one person might not feel right for another. Kendall's reaction to her mom's comment shows that she values her privacy and wants her choices to be respected. She may not be ready to start a family, or she may simply want to do it in her own time, without pressure. It's also worth noting that Kendall's journey is unique. Growing up in the public eye, she's had to deal with a lot of attention and expectations. While some people may think that all the Kardashians live the same lifestyle, Kendall has always stood out for being a little more reserved. She has often spoken about how she likes to keep her personal life more private, and that's something she seems to take seriously. Family dinners and special events, like the one at Kylie's house, are chances for everyone to come together and celebrate their bond. But even in moments of joy, unexpected comments can lead to tension. It's clear that Kris didn't mean any harm by what she said, but it still had an impact on Kendall. Hopefully, conversations like this one will help the family grow even closer, as they learn to listen to each other and respect one another's feelings. Kendall's honest response shows that she isn't afraid to speak up when something bothers her. That's an important quality, especially in a family as big and close as the Kardashians. Speaking your truth, even when it's uncomfortable, can lead to better understanding and stronger relationships. Kris might have made things a little awkward, but she probably did it out of love, and with time, both of them can laugh about it. At the end of the day, this episode of The Kardashians gives fans a real look at the ups and downs of family life. There are touching moments, funny conversations, and even some awkward ones. But through it all, the love between them is clear. Whether it's a mother getting emotional about the past or a daughter setting boundaries for the future, it all shows how deeply they care about one another. Thanks for watching. Please do well to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Kardashian updates.